Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
This certainly doesn't seem to look good, especially now that our heroes have their backs up against the wall behind them. I tried telling them to be on guard, for these newly resurrected destroyers weren't known to be as dangerous and as violent for no reason after all. But even now, while Goku and Vegeta are in a race against time itself in order to hurry and come up with a plan to not only help tame Broly, but also go as far as to try and stop Lord Grizzlor, I'm afraid whatever they are about to go and do is going to be their final chance in doing so, because if they don't find a way to calm Broly down and keep Lord Grizzlor at bay, then I'm afraid that it'll only be a matter of time before Lord Grizzlor annihilates them all and erases them all from existence forever.
Our story now continues following the initial event of Goku and Vegeta barely getting out of harm's way following the initial events of Broly having to transform, as with our heroes' backs now up against the wall and having to not only deal with Universe 17's God of Destruction Grizzlor, but also now Broly at the same time, was when Vegeta then went on to chime in. Oh, you've got some nerve asking me to go and join bodies with you after knowing good and damn well that I don't like the idea of fusing with you, Kakarots. And of all the possible outcomes that you could have came up with, you decided to go and reach for this one of all things, as we aren't in a position to be wasting any more time when we can instead be out there and trying to help Broly defeat that destroyer, and so you can forget it, Kakarots. Vegeta, we don't have time to be doing this right now, Goku went on to then quickly respond, because with Broly out there all by himself, on top of the fact that he can't seem to be reasoned with after immediately having to go after you in the process, we can't just go and take our chance out there against them both, and so our only other shot at winning this is to use fusion. But then, it was only just then during the middle of their conversation, with a gigantic explosion now seen having to come from the distance, was when Vegeta then went on to quickly respond. Oh, damn it, you've got to be kidding me, and just what the hell is happening out there for there to be such a massive eruption like this? Oh, darn it, do you see what I mean? And so we can't just go and risk it, Vegeta, so listen. While I know that you aren't a fan of having to join bodies with me when the challenge starts to become far more difficult than either one of us can handle, if we don't put our differences aside and undergo the fusion right now, then not only are we going to go and lose Broly out there, but we'll end up joining him in the process if we don't, Vegeta. As it's painfully clear to us both right now that this God of Destruction is simply too strong for either one of us to go and handle on our own right now, and so, by the end of it all, we will also lose our lives in the process if we don't go and do something now, Goku continues. And so now please, Vegeta, we aren't left with any other choice here, with Vegeta responding, oh, of all the possible outcomes that you could have presented, you instead decided to go and choose and present me with the one and only option that I hate the most. Damn it. And so how do you know that this will even work out there against him, Kakarot? What's your plan here? With Goku responding, well, although I'm not entirely sure on if this is going to work for sure or not, it certainly stands as being the absolute best shot that we have in helping save Broly out there, along with putting a stop to that God of Destruction once and for all. And so please, we can't waste any more time, Vegeta, to which all the while when then going back to Grizzlor and Broly, as they were both shown now locked in a test of strength, it was only just during the middle of their struggle as God of Destruction Grizzlor was shown having to get the upper hand over Broly was when Grizzlor went on to then respond, You know, for as strong as you are and with how surprising this sudden burst of power may be, I find it quite amusing on how you think that you can still stand a chance against me while knowing deep down that you have no chance of defeating me, Saiyan. Because when it's all said and done and by the time this day is through, Grizzlor continues, let's not kid ourselves here and be honest when I say that you are still just a mere mortal who is attempting to challenge a god by the end of the day. But if you still don't want to go and take my word for it all, then why don't I just go and show you on exactly what I mean? Yes, there. Are you starting to now come to understand that no matter how strong that you think you are, that you are nowhere near my level of strength? For not only am I far stronger than you, Grizzlor went on to then push Broly back, but I am also far more aggressive, far more intense, and far more capable than you can ever hope to be, Saiyan. And now that you're starting to see that you have no chance in overpowering me in battle, how exactly are you going to respond, mortal? Well, this is very interesting to watch unfold, because while Lord Grizzlor's strength, size, and muscle advantages over the Saiyan are extremely evident in watching Lord Grizzlor overtake him, Angel Generate went on to then chime in, Broly's refusal to submit or stay down against Lord Grizzlor is truly a remarkable display of resilience when compared to both Goku and Vegeta, and with every push that Lord Grizzlor makes, Broly's fury and intensity only appears to be growing stronger along the way, because although Broly may not be fully aware of what it is that is taking place due to his innate rage that is shown having to fully take over his mind, Broly's indomitable will, which appears to be driven by the very same rage that continues to thrust him forward, is what also appears to be keeping him alive. And even though I would be lying if I said that I didn't find this contest between them to be quite entertaining, when up against Lord Grizzlor's sheer might alone, there is no amount of rage that Broly can muster within himself that will be strong enough to overtake Lord Grizzlor in battle. But even now, while the Saiyan continues to resist Lord Grizzlor in his attempts to try and fight back, and I don't think that this is going to do him any good in the long run, especially after knowing on just how dangerous Lord Grizzlor can be, the more he is essentially met by the resistance of his enemies. But I am in the meantime, however, actually curious on what the other two mortals are up to, since they both appear to be surprisingly quiet while their allies going up against Lord Grizzlor all by themselves. And so now I can't help but wonder, to which upon, as Grizzlor was then shown having to backhand Broly across the face and regaining full control over their battle, was when Grizzlor then went on to chime back in. Oh, so you think you're tough now, do you, mortal? Well, allow for me to go and remind you that you are nothing but dead meat while in my universe, and as big as you are and as strong as you think that you may be, let it go and be compared to you right now that not only am I much bigger than you, but I am much stronger, much tougher, and I am far more aggressively cunning when compared to the likes of you. For you and your kind from the 7th could never come close in reaching the kind of power that you'd hope to one day achieve. Especially not against me, you won't, Grizzlor went on to then kick Broly down onto the ground, as I'd rather perish into a cold oblivion before I would ever allow for myself to be overtaken and bested by the very prey that I am hunting, let alone in having them come from Universe 7 of all places on top of it all. And so, you can go and get as angry as much as you want, for your aggression doesn't scare me. But then, it was only just then with Broly shown having to lunge his arm forward and having to grab onto Grizzlor's neck was when Broly then went on to utter, I'm going to tear you into pieces. Well, still have a bit of hope that lies within that soul of yours now, do you, Grizzlor responds? And for you to go and dare to raise your hand and threaten me with such pathetic and empty threats makes me sick. And so your aim is to go and do what again? Tear me into pieces, huh? No, I don't think so, Grizzlor went on to then remove Broly's hand. And although I will give you a little bit of credit for still attempting to fight back and knowing that you can't win, what I would want to know, if you're even smart enough to put more than just a sentence together, is how would you like for me to go and take you out? Decisions, am I right? So what do you think I should go and do, Grizzlor questions? Shall I go ahead and continue to pummel you to death, or should I cook you beneath the weight of my destructive power and savor you for later? Or maybe, just maybe, Grizzlor went on to then punch Broly in the face before having to hold onto his arm. How about I go and crack you open like an egg by breaking every bone in your body, starting from the top and working our way right back down to the very bottom. Yeah, let's go and do that because I'm really liking the sound of that now, more so than anything else. And so now let's go. To which upon Grizzlor then shown having to get behind Broly before being shown muscling him up was when Angel Generator then went on to chime back in. Now hold on there, is Lord Grizzlor going for what I think he's about to go for? Because this most certainly looks similar to the way he would usually go and perform this move, and well, but of course Angel Generator went on to then continue, for I do believe that the last time that I went and had watched Lord Grizzlor go and use this move on someone, it was I believe against Universe 14's Destroyer Lord Cobras, as that had almost resulted in Lord Grizzlor nearly having to break Lord Cobras' neck when it happened. But despite the fact of knowing that Lord Grizzlor was going to win, Angel Generator went on to then continue, and I must say that I'm rather surprised to have witnessed such creatures emerge from Lord Beerus' universe the way they did, because even though they are a wild bunch of mortals, I never would have guessed that Beerus' universe would house such impressive warriors such as these. But nevertheless, with the mortal Broly seemingly locked within Lord Grizzlor's vices while the other two remain distant and eerily absent from this battle, and I will go as far as to give this battle a few more minutes at best before Lord Grizzlor decides to finally put an end to them once and for all, to which as Grizzlor was then shown suplexing Broly once again, it was only just upon with Grizzlor being shown having to leap up towards the sky while keeping Broly locked within his vices was when Grizzlor then went on to continue, and here you were said to be the wild card of the bunch. Well, so much for that now, right, mortal? Because if there's any lesson that you should have taken before engaging against me within my universe, then it should have been the one where you went and took the knee and bowed your head while begging for your freedom to be granted, because so as long as the three of you remain within my universe, you will never see the light of day within Universe 7 ever again, and that's a promise. To which it was seconds later within that very moment as Grizzlor was shown having to suplex Broly's body down onto the ground with tremendous amounts of force before having to be shown standing over him was when Grizzlor then went on to continue. What's wrong, Saiyan? Had enough? For you fools have absolutely no idea on the mess you've made by getting in the way and interfering with my hibernation. But that's okay, because there's more. And so what's wrong? You didn't think that this was going to be over so quickly now, did you, Saiyan? No, I don't think so, because let me be the first to go and tell you that you are in for a treat. Grizzlor went on to then kick Broly away, and with all of that aggression and with all of that promise of giving me a battle that is worthy of a god, you can't seem to now go as far as to help yourself after seeing stars all around you following me, dropping you on your head now, can you? No, you can't, can you? But either way, I'm glad that you're already back up and on your feet again. Grizzlor went on to then charge towards Broly, because I just love it when my prey goes and gives me a good enough warm-up before they are able to later then find themselves within the pits of my stomach. And so how's about some more then? Grizzlor went on to then dash towards Broly before having to be shown tackling right into him. And so aside from counting stars after slamming you around your puny little head, Grizzlor continues, I want to know on just where exactly did all of that anger that you had just go, because just look at you, thrashing about with no control, no strategy, and no means of being able to find an escape against me, mortal. For your raw power means nothing if you cannot wield it with precision, for what you see here standing right before you is the very embodiment of true might that has been forged through eons of battle, mortal. And while I must give you credit for having the courage to face me all alone with, dare I even say, impressive power to see come from a mortal, nevertheless, this next attack of mine will be just enough to annihilate you completely, but just reserved enough to keep you alive long enough until it's dinner time, Grizzlor continues, for your inability to control control your strength was your greatest weakness, and while you are a force of nature, your aimless and chaotic ways of approaching battle are extremely predictable. But then, it was suddenly from out of nowhere behind Grizzlor in the distance where a giant light was now beginning to emanate as Grizzlor then went on to respond, "Great. And just what was that just now? Wait a second. Why am I now all of a sudden unable to sense the energy signatures of those other two runts, but instead, there appears to be an even larger singular energy in place of them?" Grizzlor questions. "Oh, well, no matter, because it's time to go and dispose of this one here before going after the other." But then, it was all of a sudden now shockingly enough from out of nowhere as Gogeta had gone as far as to speed blitz his way and grabbing onto Grizzlor's arm was when Gogeta then went on to respond, "That's far enough, God of Destruction, for we aren't going to allow for you to continue to have your way with us like this, and especially not while I'm here to go and deal with you now. Wait a second, I don't remember facing off against you before, unless... But of course, the mortal Saiyans merged into becoming one with you being the result of their fusion, aren't you? Yes, as now I see as to why your power felt so familiar upon approaching me. Well, at least now I could go and crush you both at the same time instead of having to pursue you both in battle, and so now make your move." But then, it was only just then suddenly from out of nowhere as Gogeta went on to kick Grizzlor away and having to create distance between them was when Gogeta then went on to quickly respond, "That's enough, Destroyer, for the move has already been made, and despite with you forcing our hand in having us join bodies to face you, we are going to make you wish that you had never ignored us when you did after attempting to try and reason with you before, Lord Grizzlor. But aside from having to deal with you, which we will in a matter of a few moments, hello, Broly. Now, while I understand that it's been a very long time since you and I were last shown having to see one another, I want you to go and try to remember as to why you are here and who stands alongside you throughout all of this, because as badly as I can sense your anger upon seeing me begin to swell," Gogeta adds, "you'll need to just go and try to calm down, Broly, as if you continue to lose control the way you currently are, then you'll endanger not just yourself, but all those who also choose to fight alongside you," Gogeta continues, "and although you are not my enemy here, I just want you to know one thing, and that is if you try and decide to go and take any sort of action here against me, then I will not hesitate in reminding you of the beating that I once gave you if it'll mean putting an end to your rampage, Broly. For we are not on opposite sides here, and therefore I would hope that you understand as to where it is that I'm coming from, which is why I will need for you to try to remember as to who you are and more importantly on who your primary enemy is here, because it certainly isn't me, and so we can't afford to screw this all up or it'll mean the end of us both if we do," Gogeta continues. "And so now that I've made my intentions very clear, it's time that we go and put a stop to this bloodthirsty onslaught of yours, Destroyer, as I'll be your opponent from here onwards," as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the resurrected fallen gods of destruction, the Universe 17 Saga, Manga Chapter number 7 Special then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that even though this entire situation between our heroes and Lord Grizzlor appears to be an extremely dangerous one, with Goku and Vegeta undergoing the fusion dance as their last attempt in regaining control of the overall situation, it would only now appear as though that with Gogeta being the best and only other viable source in allowing for our heroes to emerge victorious in the end, one must ask the question on if this will truly be enough to win them the day against Lord Grizzlor, for you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to UnrealEntGaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching. watching, and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.